Welcome to the Morbid Codex. Tonight we delve into the unsettling experiences of workers on the night shift, where the line between reality and the unknown blurs. Prepare yourself for 3 terrifying tales of night shift nightmares. It started as just another quiet night at the hospital. I was doing my rounds, checking on patients, and everything seemed normal. But as the night went on, I started to feel uneasy. It was like I was being watched. At first, it was just small things. Cold drafts, in warm rooms, flickering lights, and the feeling of eyes on me. I tried to brush it off, thinking I was just tired. But then things got stranger. One night, while reviewing patient charts, I heard faint whispers coming from the empty corridor. Thinking it was a patient in need, I got up to investigate. As I walked down the corridor, the whispers grew louder. I turned a corner and saw a shadowy figure at the end of the hall. I called out, but it vanished into thin air. My heart was pounding. Rushing back to the nurse's station, I checked the security monitor and saw the figure in one of the rooms. I spun around, but there was no one there. It was like I was losing my mind. When I shared my experience with my co-workers, I discovered I wasn't alone. Many of them had similar encounters, and they told me about the hospital's dark history. It sent chills down my spine. That night, I tried to continue my work, but the sense of unease was overwhelming. I kept glancing over my shoulder, feeling like I was being watched. It was unbearable. While adjusting an IV drip in a patient's room, the temperature dropped suddenly. I heard a soft, mournful moan and turned around. There was nothing there, but the presence was undeniable. Terrified, I backed away, my heart pounding. I stumbled out of the room, shaken to my core. That was the last straw for me. I couldn't take it anymore. I confided in a doctor who confirmed the hospital's tragic history. Unable to cope with the constant fear, I decided to transfer to a different shift, leaving the haunted hospital behind. I've been working the night shift at the factory supplying computer parts for years, and I thought I'd seen it all. But one night something happened that I still can't explain. It started with strange noises, clanging metal, and distant footsteps echoing through the empty halls. At first I thought it was just the building settling or maybe a stray animal, but the sounds became more frequent and unsettling. One night, the sounds led me to an old, unused section of the factory. As I ventured deeper, the air grew colder, and a sense of dread washed over me. I felt like something was watching me. I entered a dark, abandoned room and shone my flashlight around, revealing old, dust-covered machinery. Suddenly, there was a loud crash behind me. I turned around, but there was nothing there. My heart was racing. I called out, but no one responded. Then I felt a cold draft and heard a faint whisper in my ear. Panic set in, and I bolted out of the room, terrified. The next day, I reported the incident to my supervisor. He told me that many workers had experienced strange occurrences in that section of the factory. It was a relief to know I wasn't imagining things. Despite my fear, I continued my rounds, but now with a constant sense of unease. Every sound made me jump, and my nerves were frayed by the haunting presence. One night I heard the sound of machinery starting up on its own. I rushed to the source and saw the machinery moving without anyone operating it. It was like the factory had come alive. I watched in horror as the machinery continued to operate. Unable to handle the fear any longer, I fled the scene. I questioned my coworkers the following morning. To my disbelief, they said that a past employee had an accident at the specific machinery, which killed him and left his soul lingering to this day. That day, I decided to resign. I never returned to the factory again. I've been working as a night shift janitor for a few months when strange things started happening. At first, it was just small stuff, papers rustling and computer screens flickering. But then, it got worse. One night, while cleaning a conference room, I heard footsteps approaching. I looked up, but no one was there. It was like I was being followed. I tried to ignore it, but the feeling of being watched was overwhelming. One night, while cleaning the conference room, I heard footsteps again. I looked up, but there was no one there. My heart was pounding. Another time, I heard a door creak open and close on its own. I checked every room but found nothing. It was like the building had a mind of its own. Another night, I discovered an old, hidden door leading to a forgotten office space. The room was filled with old files and furniture covered in dust. It was like stepping back in time. I found a note belonging to a former employee. It looks like a suicide note detailing their tragic demise about his wife leaving him and taking his kids. As I read it, I felt an overwhelming sense of sorrow and despair. It was like their pain was still lingering in the air. Desperate to find some peace, I offered a prayer. The eerie occurrences gradually stopped, but the experience left a lasting impression on me. When I reported the incident to my manager, he confirmed the tragic story. Several years ago, a former coworker committed suicide. Since then, many people have reported having the same eerie feeling that the person's soul is still present. Due to the unpleasant atmosphere in the office, they have permanently sealed off that office area. I continued my job, but never entered the hidden office space again. However, the experience left a lasting impression. A reminder of the unseen forces that linger in the dark. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Morbid Codex for more chilling tales.